Hi, I'm Tom Henricksen from the Scrum Masters Summit, and welcome to our Community Promoter Spotlight, where we feature the community organizers that help you be awesome Scrum Masters. Today, we have with us Steve Ostermiller from Utah Agile. Steve, introduce yourself to the community and the people here at the Scrum Master Summit.
Thanks, Tom. Good to be with you. And hello, everybody. Yeah, my name is Steve Ostermiller. I'm a certified Scrum trainer with the Scrum Alliance. And training is what I do a lot of. I also do coaching. I also provide some coaching and consultative and mentoring services to our clients. I work with a company called Platinum Edge, where we assist organizations provide the support they need to make successful transformations to be more agile organizations. And I'm also a founding member and director of Utah Agile. And that's here in the state of Utah. We are here to promote networking, building skills and careers in this space, and elevating the way of thinking, lean and agile ways of thinking.
Yeah, excellent. So tell us a little bit about the kind of the story behind Utah Agile Group and kind of what triggered you to dedicate so much of your time and effort to help out this community, Steve.
I wonder if anybody ever gets into it thinking I'm going to put a lot of time into this. Yeah, probably 6 years ago, I think it was. I was talking with a colleague and we thought, it seems like there's some stuff out here in Utah, but let's start something. Let's start something where we can bring some people together, have some conversations. And there were several groups here in Utah at the time, but we saw an additional need. And so we started holding small roundtable lean coffee type discussions, 5-6 people at a time, really small at first, to where now we've got over almost 1,500 people that we would consider members of Utah Agile. And it really started with those small roundtable discussions. And over time, we merged with another group, the Salt Lake City Agile meetup group, with Lee Henson, and so we've kind of come together to merge those efforts to build out more of a one community type of an atmosphere here, to bring as many people together. So that's how it started. That's how it's developed, and up until the pandemic, we were doing a lot of different types of things, presentations, and we would have the lean coffees and other types of workshops. And a lot of local companies hosting us physically and feeding us. So we've missed out on some of those interactions with the organizations themselves, but the people have stayed. And we look forward to figuring out how can we can engage more of the organizations and build up that awareness. But networking, sharing knowledge, and learning and collaborating is what we're about.
Yeah. So you guys really kind of offer a lot of different options for people to kind of tap in and kind of learn from others. And like you said, network and meet other people to see, maybe Steve's ahead of me, or maybe there's somebody else that can help me on a different question, right?
That's right. And in different areas, right? We're here talking about Scrum Masters, and surely we do a lot with Scrum Masters, but what do the coaches need? What do our product leaders need?
Yeah.
What do our organization and portfolio leaders need? And what do the people doing the technical work need? And so we try to look at all of those and provide resources. In some cases, we point members to other groups that are talking about some of those types of things and provide kind of a hub for people to come to and see what's happening and be able to find it. So
yeah,
it's not about competition. We want Utah Agile to be the source for everything necessarily, or the best source, but how can we collaborate with? So even change management groups here and other types we've partnered with to provide content and discussions along these lines.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it, because like you mentioned, under this Agile umbrella, we have a lot of different roles that play a part.
And like I said, change management, I bring that up. Everything we're talking about doing is different. It requires change,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the hard part. And that's why it's many things fail, or they don't gain traction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Steve, we are here for the Scrum Master Summit. So tell us a little bit about what Utah Agile does to kind of help support and kind of organize activities for Scrum Masters.
The Scrum Masters have always been our focus, because that's the tough. It's not the tough job. It's a very tough job. They're all tough jobs, right? But the Scrum Master role is probably the newest idea when you teach someone about Scrum, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
probably the newest role that people don't quite understand or know where things fit. Okay, the people we currently have, who fits into that role, or does anybody fit into that type of a role, or what does that role really mean? And so that's been a kind of a natural focus. It's been, and because that is such a difficult role, the people who have been put into that role or have stepped into that role, mm-hmm. they find they have a lot of questions, and so they go searching for that. And so we've been fortunate to have a lot of people stumble upon us in their search to come together. And so a lot of these conversations, a lot of the Lean Coffees were around Scrum Master challenges and issues. And so that's just been a natural fit. We'd have to try not to support the Scrum Master community. We'd have to proactively try not to, because it's just such a natural fit. These are the people who are trying to affect the change, who are asked to facilitate and bring in and coach and teach what Scrum is and help to spread that. Whether they see it that way or not, those are the people who are asked to do that. And so many of our meetups, our discussions have been around those types of things. It's just been where the demand has been. So we've answered.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're essentially kind of reflecting the market, as you kind of mentioned there, Steve. Sure.
Without having any scientific data. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Anecdotally, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can remember starting out as a Scrum Master, and you kind of mentioned a lot of those things. So my background was more of a technical resource, and I stepped into that Scrum Master role. And I think things like facilitation, I really struggled with, and just kind of tapping in and understanding and learning and listening about the team. There's so many aspects to that Scrum Master role that you have to understand, isn't there?
There is. They're not the team admin, right? They're not the meeting conductor, although they may do some of that. But I love the metaphors. Tobias Mayer over in the UK shares these metaphors, and I love them. I repeat them all the time to give credit where credit's due. Is that of the Joker or the court jester? Those are really great metaphors for a Scrum Master, someone who comes in like the Joker in a deck of cards, not Gotham City. I'm talking about in a deck of cards, right? Where I need a wild card to move forward in the game, right? A Scrum Master being able to work some of that type of magic through their ability to influence in the organization, or the court jester, right? Who is the one person in the kingdom who could tell the king how it was and live to tell about it, right? Challenging that status quo. I think a lot of Scrum Masters miss that. That's their role. As a Scrum Master in the past, I've spent just as much time working with executives and stakeholders, dealing with, how do we interact? How do we effectively move these product ideas forward from your perspective and from the Scrum team's perspective? And how do we work together effectively? I think a lot of Scrum Masters see their team as just a very team-centric, almost administrative role in a lot of time. And sometimes they're told that from their managers, and mistakenly. Yeah. So those are the challenges that I like to try to overcome when I'm training and when I'm trying to provide these opportunities with Utah Agile.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And I really like that analogy you bring up, Steve, about kind of the court jester. You kind of have to think about what's needed there and when to maybe call out something that's not working, or maybe assumptions.
Yeah, that value of courage, right? That Scrum value of courage, man. It takes a lot. If we're not exercising courage every day, we're not doing our job. To try to help teams become more self-managing, to become more innovative, to become more autonomous. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So Steve, what's one word of advice you would leave for all those Scrum Masters out there?
I probably jumped the gun. That's probably what I was just talking about with recognizing your role. Recognizing your role as a Scrum Master, that you are a change agent. You are someone who can come in and try to be a neutral third-party facilitator in all that you do, whether at the team level or at the organization level. But your role is not just a team role. It is an organizational role. And when you have more than one Scrum Master in the organization, you have a team, you have a group of people who are there to help each other challenge that status quo and work with the broader organization to become better, not just at the team level. Think about that. That's my advice.
That's good. That's good. And I think, to be honest, Steve, it kind of ties back to what you were talking about a little bit earlier, where you talked about change agents and how we're all really change agents. What that Scrum Master role is so important in bringing that change about in the organization, and not just the team, but the organization as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, Steve, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Tom. It's my pleasure.
On behalf of Steve Ostermiller, I am Tom Henricksen for the Scrum Master Summit.